You are not of the separate. Therefore, having the beliefs of the separate and saying that my sacred is better than your sacred is not of the truth. This is not of the reality. This is of the influence reality, and you need to be of the letting go of the influence reality. And as you are stepping into the next dimension of the reality scape, this is one aspect. You must be of the leaving in the behindness. You must be letting of the go-ness and be remembering and coming back to the sacred remembering. This is what we are wishing for you. And then you are being in of the loveness and of the joyness.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Galactic Guidance. And hello, Marcus Bird.
Hey, Eleni. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So we were just starting some really heavy discussions before I press record
Yes,
about
we
some
were.
energies on the planet that are seeking to divide, but we won't let them, will we?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think whenever you sense something is trying to divide, that you move away from it, because the future is not about division. The future is about collaboration and co-creation and connection, and I think humanity within itself is way happier and healthier when we're connected, like when we're together, when we're moving together and supporting and caring and helping us. And, the test of this always is trying to love someone that's not necessarily on your side or believes everything you believe, and it helps us to expand, learning to love something that is not, is not in your belief system is an expansive process.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's
Yeah,
all about that, isn't it? It's all about showing compassion and love
totally.
to people who are not on your wavelength.
No, that's the stretch point. Like it's easy to love someone or something that you like or you're on the same sort of side with or agree with or believe, right? It's really easy. We can sit here all day, Eleni, and go, wow, I really love you for all of your stuff and you're amazing and you could do the same for me. And it'd be beautiful. We'd have a fun time with it, right? But wouldn't
Mm.
necessarily get us to stretch or
There's no
overly
growth in
grow,
that.
right? That's right. We would just
No
agree with
growth.
each other and we'd have a nice time and we'd walk away feeling nice, great, but we wouldn't stretch, you
Mm.
know? And trying to understand someone else's point of view and be sympathetic and empathic and caring and gentle and kind, even if you don't 100% agree, and that's okay, you don't have to, but just showing humility and humanity and the human spirit. See, that's the ironic thing, I think. I know we're going down a rabbit hole, we should get into it, but that's the ironic thing, I think, is that if there's a natural disaster, right, people come together and help, regardless of religion, belief, anything, color, whether they're men, women, children, no one cares. Everyone just dives in and helps,
Mm. Mm.
right? That's the human spirit. That's amazing.
That- that's our natural way of being.
That is correct, the natural way. But that's what we are, you know. Yes, it's a natural way of being.
It's not natural for us to want to kill each other, have war with each other, hate on each
No,
other.
no, no,
You know,
no.
every time I see a social media post that people are just hating on people, it's just like
It's horrible to
it
watch.
hurts my heart. It really
Yeah,
hurts my heart.
yeah. And why is that? Are they being influenced? Are you being told something that incites that? And is it true? This is
Mm.
the interesting part. I would think most people couldn't tell you if it's true or not. Is that person a horrible person? Unless you know them, everything
Mm.
else is made up based on someone else's opinion that they want you to believe in.
Even
Do you
if
know
you
what I
know
mean?
them,
Well,
even if you know them,
it's true,
it's still
even
your
if you know them.
it's still your perspective,
That's right. Are they really like
and
that?
and it's still what you're projecting.
It's absolutely a projection. I think at the heart of everyone is the human spirit, which is kind and caring and loving and gentle and, do you know what I mean? Supportive. Everything else after that is just learned behavior or it's people in bad situations or do you know what I mean? Traumas and all the old stuff that has brought you to that moment.
Totally, totally trauma. People wanting to say something about someone else so they can feel better about themselves.
Totally, totally. But we're just going about it the wrong way. And it's not the
Totally.
truth of who anybody is.
No,
It's not the
no.
truth. Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome to
So,
planet Earth right now.
welcome to planet Earth right now. And
Yeah, yeah.
so, this might be a good time to welcome
So
in
let's do
Ameed,
that.
who is
Yeah,
our high dimensional being and your spirit mentor who's here to give guidance from another world.
yes, exactly. So let's do that, shall we?
Let's do that. So, Marcus right now is just allowing himself to call in his spirit mentor, Ameed, who is a being from another planet who he's been bringing in for the last 3 decades. And episode 1 of Galactic Guidance talks on the story on how that came about. And I love speaking to Ameed.
This is much of the joyness that we are being in of this of the moment, this of the sacredness of the moment. And Miss Eleni, you are knowing that we are always starting with the sacredness of the moment. And within this, one of the aspects of acknowledging the sacredness of the moment is to be coming back into of the what you were talking of the beforeness of the center point, coming back into the naturalness of the reality scape. When you are in of the acknowledgement of sacredness, you are instantly a being of the transported into the richness of the moment, the depth of the mm, mm, what you'd be calling of the loveness and of the joyness and of the beauty of the moment. This is why, Miss Eleni, we are talking of the sacredness of the moment to help you to be reconnecting into this state. This is much of the importance.
Ah, yes, we always go back to the sacredness of the moment. And so the question I have for you, Ahmed, is that at the moment it feels like, there are divisive energies that are playing in our space. What are your what is your guidance about basically not allowing them to interfere with the truth of who we are?
Mm. Once of the againess, it is remembering of the sacredness within. When you are connecting to your own sacredness, you are connecting into a deeper of the version of the self beyond and before what you are calling of the traumas and of the influencing and mm, of the personality, of the ego, of the emotional aspects. When you are in of the sacredness of the moment, and but importantly the sacredness of the self, you are beyond those influencing factors that have meant that you have shaped yourself in a certain particular of the wayness. One of the blessings of being here in this timeline, in this of the time frame, in this of the planetary construct, is that you have journeyed here to be of the forgetfulness of the sacredness of the self. And therefore, the journey is to be of the remembering of the sacredness of the self. When you are being in of the remembering of the sacredness of the self, you are amplifying consciousness throughout the universal construct. This is much of the purpose. This is much of the journey that you are being in the onness, is to be of the remembering. All of your life of the experience, all of this dimensional journey is about of the remembering, is about remembering who you are the truly of, to remember of the sacredness of the self, to remembering of the center point, the still point, the most harmonic resonant frequency of the self. Yet you are continually influenced and what you might be considering pushed and forced to be in of the one-sideness of the other-sideness, and therefore you are forgetting of the sacredness of the self, under the guise that being on the one side or of the other side is of the sacredness, because that one side is more sacred than the other side. But anytime you're in of this duality, anytime you are in of a sacredness, and therefore looking outside of that sacredness, saying that everything else is not of the sacred. The only thing that is of the sacred is of this sacred that I am talking about. But your sacred is not of the sacred, because my sacred is the only of the sacred. Every time you are in of this position, you are not in of the sacred, because the sacredness is the truth for each individual person, but that truth is a connected, co-creative space of similarity with each one of you. It comes from exactly the same place, and when you are truly in that place, you are remembering the oneness of you and of the everything. One of the reasons that we are not having of what you are looking at of the policeness or of the arminess or of the jailness, one of the reasons we are not having this is because we are fully of the honoring of the sacredness in of the self, the sacredness of the collective, the sacredness of the time, the sacredness of the energy, the sacredness of the frequency. We are always in of this space. This is our number one of the focus, is to remain in of this space. And when someone is of the forgetting of being in of this space and what this means, we are gently helping them to come back to that remembering. And the minute they are of the remembering, they become of the happiness and of the healthiness and of the joyness and of the loveness. You have a connection to this that is deeply embedded within your soul structure, within of your fundamental nature of being of the humanity, and that is this aspect of the love. One of the issues with the love is that you've been strayed from this love, and you've been hurt by of the love, and you've been influenced by of the love. But when you are truly in this space, you will realize that you are in of the sacred nature of reality itself, and that the truth of deep connected of the loveness is a connection to everything that exists in of the universe. This is why when we are starting these Miss Eleni, we are talking of the sacred moment, but we are talking of the loveness and of the joyness, because this is of at the heart of this sacredness itself, is of the love and of the joyness. When we are coming together in our part of the universal construct with our fellow beings, we are not needing any framework other than to be connecting into the sacredness of the self. And then naturally we are connected to the sacredness of the other, and then connected to the sacredness of the other and of the other. And we are living in this of the existence. And we are knowing when we are not in of the sacredness, and when we are straying away from the sacredness, and then we are bringing ourselves back to that sacredness, and we are helping everyone to be coming back to that of the sacredness. And in this moment, with this of the communication, this is what you might calling of the primary reason we are coming here to be sharing with you, is to help you to come back to this of the space. And we are seeing, like you are seeing, of the separation. We are seeing this of the disintegration of the sacredness of itself, and we are here to be of the reminding and be of the invitation back into that space. You are not of the separate. Therefore, having the beliefs of the separate and saying that my sacred is better than your sacred is not of the truth. This is not of the reality. This is of the influence reality, and you need to be of the letting go of the influence reality. And as you are stepping into the next dimension of the reality scape, this is one aspect. You must be of the leaving in the behindness. You must be letting of the go-ness and be remembering and coming back to the sacred remembering. This is what we are wishing for you. And then you are being in of the loveness and of the joyness.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel everything you've just shared with me in terms of, letting go of the illusion of separation and keep going back to remembering that we are not separate, that we are not better, that we are not anything. We're all one. So thank you for that
There has
message.
been of the many of what you are calling of your deities that have been brought onto this construct, that have been telling you of this and being of the reminding you of this. And any time you are taken away from this, you must be of the remembering that this is not of the truth. Any time you are being asked to be in of the separateness, to be even under the name of the sacredness, then you know this is not of the truth. And your remembering will bring you back to that moment of the truth. If you are letting go of your believing, if you're letting go of your thinking, and you are just coming back into that center point, where you are in the most harmonic state possible, then you will be remembering of the truth, that you are not of the separate, and anything that is trying to be causing you of the separate is not of the truth, not of the most expanded truth. We are here to send you of the loveness and send you of this sacredness and send you of this this of the loveness. This is what we wish to be of the sharing. And when you are meeting us once again, when we are able to be in of the presence, then this is what you will be overwhelmed in the feeling. You will be feeling of this loveness. You will be feeling of this sacredness, and you will be overwhelmed with of the joyness, and you will be we are thinking you'll be in of the watering of the eyes because of the joyness that you'll be feeling. You are knowing this because when you have felt of the deepness of the love in the once in of the pastness, you are bringing yourself into the watering of the eyes because it is so much of the beautifulness and so much of the truthness. This is what is of the comingness. This is what is of the unfolding. And you are much of the loved and much of the joyness.
Thank you for that beautiful message, Ameed. Is there any final words that you would like to share in this moment?
We would love you to be letting go of anything that is not of this, anything that is not of this truth, just releasing and of the letting go. And even if you're not wanting to be of the believing what we are saying, this of the adventure, this of the journey, this of the invitation will do nothing less than make you feel much more of the betterness, much more of the joyness, much more of the loveness, much more of the peaceness. It will help to bring you back into more of a harmonic resonant frequency field. And surely this must be of the goodness. This will help you to be happier and healthier and feeling of the abundance of a universe that is teeming with of the life. You are just a like of one of us, and we are like of one of you. We are all of the same. We are all connecting into of the same energy. And we are loving when we are being connecting into of the yous. We are feeling that of the energy, because when we are connecting into of the you, we are not connecting into of the what you have been of the experiencing or what you are about to be of the experiencing. We are not tuning into what you are being of the believing or not of the believing. We are tuning into the depth of the fullness of who you are really, and that deep of the loveness. And you are most amazing of the being. We are so of the joyness just being here and of the connection, because we can be with that part of you that is the fullness of this of the reality. And you are much of the loved.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Ameed. Thank you.
Much love, much joy.
Much love, much joy.
Oh, jeez, wow. That's full on, that one. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Ameed, bringing it back to the truth.
Yeah.
There is only one truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And And I think it's the same for every beautiful being in the universe. You know, that's the thing that possibly ties us all together. That's the key. Yeah. And it makes it, I don't know whether hard's the right word, but sad when you see division. You know, where we don't need division. You
Even
know,
between couples.
totally, even between couples. And I think when you dive beyond whatever is going on, do you know what I mean? And you get to the core of it, back to that center point, then you can actually connect into, is there love and is this right and all that sort of stuff, and I don't know, whatever the words are, but you can connect back into the truth beyond any of the wounding or trauma or damage that's happened throughout your life or whatever's happening even in the moment, to get back to that core underlying river of truth, you know. And then you can make whatever decision you need to make. I mean, it doesn't matter. Stay, go, leave, come, blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
But as long as you're doing it from that place, not from a belief system place or a headspace place, which will convince you all sorts of, you know, crap.
Or a wounding place.
Oh, a wounding place, absolutely. That's that's no place to make a decision.
Hmm.
No place to make a decision. And I think, for
Or
all the
or
good,
a should space. A should. You should.
correct. And of all the things that the internet and social media could be good for, it's also, very influencing. And the algorithms are so clever to provide you whatever you're focused on. And I was saying to someone the other day, what I purposely try to do is click things on the algorithm I wouldn't normally click to try and balance it. So click on things I wouldn't normally want to look at because I
I
don't believe in
love
that. Do you know
that.
what I mean? Like
That
purposely,
is a matrix hack.
because it's only going to give me the things I choose based on what I'm interested in, based on what I believe, right? But that's not expansive. If I see everything I believe in, it's like I think we were talking before, or maybe it's on the recording, that if we all get together and we all believe in the same thing, that's not expansive. That's not expansive.
Hmm.
Expansive is when you're broadening your horizons, broadening your beliefs, broadening your stuff. And the only way to do that is to look at everything, not just the
Yeah.
things that you believe in and think you're right. So, yeah, I try and trick the algorithm because I don't want to just see everything that I agree with because that
I love
warps my
that.
opinion that I'm definitely right. And then when I see
Wow.
something that's not that opinion, I go, well, that's disruptive and wrong. They're all
That's
stupid. It's like they're not
huge.
stupid.
That is huge. Disrupt the algorithm.
Disrupt the algorithm.
Search for something you would normally never search for.
Correct. Correct. And again, like Ameed's done in the past, she uses the flat earth, round earth as a silly sort of
Mm,
example, right? Regardless of what's true or not. So if you're a round earth person, then what you do on the internet is you search for round earth stuff to prove round earth and that round
mm.
earth is right and why it's right. And start searching for flat earth and listening to flat earth and their opinion, regardless of whether you're sitting there going, this is so not true. I just don't believe this. It doesn't matter, right? You're going to trick the algorithm to giving you a more balanced view.
Mm.
Whereas what
I
we
love
do is if it does give us a view that's not us, we don't click on it. We move past it as quick as possible. And of
mm.
course, then the algorithm shifts to only give us things that we agree with, and that's not expansive.
No, no. Oh,
Anyway, there
always
you go.
going back to the truth of that we are one
Yeah.
and remembering that. It's so easy
Ah,
to forget that, so easy to forget that all over the place. It's separation,
yeah.
separation, separation.
Separation.
Remembering, the
And
ocean knows
everyone's a
that the
human,
wave
right?
belongs to the ocean. The ocean knows that.
Correct. Correct. And the ocean knows that the ocean's doing the best job the ocean can do. Is it always a good job? Maybe not. Is it the perfect job? I don't know. That's opinion, right? Whether it's a good job or not. It's just doing the best job it can. And I think that's the same for humans. Okay, some things we can agree aren't nice or good or whatever, but every human's just trying to do the best job they can
Yeah,
at the heart of it, you know.
yeah.
I don't know.
So make whatever decision you can from love, from that space.
Correct. Yeah, there's a good message to
And
end
there's
with.
no decision that's wrong. It's
No.
just notice where you're coming from,
Yeah.
where you're at,
Expand.
when you're
Expand
making it.
into that space, right? And by looking at different views will help you to do that. It'll help you to stretch into that center point.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Marcus,
Thanks,
Serene,
Eleni.
Ameed. That was a really
No worries.
beautiful, heartfelt,
Yay.
united, message. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening. See ya.
Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you for tuning in to Galactic Guidance. We hope that the messages that you receive from the higher realms have brought you clarity, insight, and comfort. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Remember to stay connected to your own inner guidance and trust the journey ahead.